Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing this beautiful berry toned glam look. I am on my way out the door to an event, so excuse me if this video is rushed, but I am in a rush, girl. I adore how this look came out, and I think every girl with dark skin should be wearing berry tones. Okay, berry tones look so good on us, even I sleep on it sometimes. So if you want to see how I created this look, keep on watching. Okay, first things first, excuse my hair situation that I have going on. I have an event, I pinned some of my curls up. I know y'all are less judgmental here on YouTube and that I can show up as my authentic self, so I just wanted to disclaim that first. I'm gonna prime my skin with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. Y'all know I love this. I use it all the time. I'm about a third of the way through now. It's just so good. Please excuse if I seem a little bit rushed today. I do have an event to get to in about an hour and a half. Usually if I'm filming, I like to give myself 2 hours, but because I had a hair situation going on, it took me a little longer to get to filming. I'm also gonna use some of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion on my smile lines. Again, I have an event today, so y'all are really gonna see what it's like for me to get ready when I actually have somewhere to be. 99% of the time I'm literally not going anywhere, and I'm a very smiley girl. I'm a very happy girl. So one thing about me, I'm gonna smile and laugh, and we don't want our makeup to crease because of that, so I love using eyeshadow primer on my smile lines to prevent that. I'm gonna set the areas that we applied the eyeshadow primer with my HUDA Beauty Easy Bake Powder. It doesn't really matter which shade you use, but I'm using the shade Blondie because it's what I had on hand, and I'm just setting that eyeshadow primer into place so that we ensure that it's not going anywhere. And you don't need to use a lot of powder at all, just a little bit to set that into place. Y'all know the drill by now. We always color correct before putting on any foundation. As always, I'm using my HUDA Beauty color corrector. Stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, perfect color corrector. I love the shade of this. I haven't found anything that I like more than this. Just blending this in with a concealer brush. I think this brush has a little bit of extra or leftover red blush on it, which is irritating, but I couldn't find the other brush that I typically use for color correcting, so this is gonna have to work. It's very easy to use too much color corrector. I actually often do use more than I would want. A little really does go a long way because, like I said in past videos, you just want to cancel out any hyperpigmentation. Yeah, like on this side, I think I used like the right amount, whereas on this side I used a tad more than I would have wanted, but it's okay. Whenever I do that, I just like to spread the product out some more. For my foundation, I'm using the LAWLESS Forget the Filler foundation. Y'all, I have used this foundation I think 3 times now, and it has become a favorite. Like, this foundation is so good, so good. It photographs beautifully, and it's literally like what I describe as one of my bulletproof foundations. Like, whenever I wear this out, I've worn it out twice, I come back and my face is literally still matte. I don't get oily with this, but it also still looks very skin-like and natural if you want it to. It's stunning, it's perfect. Like, this foundation is so good. It also has a beautiful, beautiful shade range. I think it has a really even distribution of fair, medium, and deep shades, which I always love. I always love that. I love that I'm not the last shade or the second to last shade. LAWLESS did that. They really did that with the foundation. And I feel like it's often that there are a lot of skin tint and like beauty balm launches. If you guys have seen like the ABH beauty balm, and those are cute, but like I love that they're now, this is like a foundation launch for the full glam girls, because it's not everyday skin tint. Y'all know by now over here, it's not everyday skin tint, skin tint. For my cream bronzer slash contour, I'm going to be using the Danessa Myricks Beauty Balm Contour, and I'm using the shade Deep 2. I lost this for a little while. It was actually like with my blushes for some reason, so I'm so glad that I found this product. I adore it. By the way, earlier, that was no shade to the skin tint girlies. I love a good skin tint too and use them very often, so don't get me wrong with that statement. But if you guys want to see more of a natural makeup tutorial for me, let me know. I don't do natural makeup on my page a lot, but it is something I do every once in a while when I don't have as much time to do like a full beat like I usually do. And I know for some people it's more realistic to do a natural makeup look, so let me know. I don't know if that's something that y'all want to see from me, but if it is, let me know and I'll do it. I'm here for you. I'm actually going to use a little bit of my Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick. This is in the shade Sizzle. I'm going to add a little bit of this at the highest point of my cheekbones, and I'm gonna use the same brush just to focus it here because I want a little bit more of a sculpt than this is giving me, not too much. I like to be heavier on bronzer than contour. I believe in my last video I explained the difference between bronzer and contour. If you want to know that, definitely check out my last video. I do explain that. For my blush today, I'm actually going to use a blush that if you watch my YouTube shorts you would have seen it, but I've never used it in a long form video. This is the Huda Beauty blush filter. I'm using 2 shades today. First we're going to use the shade Black Cherry. This is a really cutesy blush. This might not be as berry toned as I want it to be. I think it will, but we'll see when we blend it out. I want a majority of this shade to be this berry shade. And then I'm also going to use the shade Ube Cream, which is this lighter lilac shade. I just love how these two look together, so I am going to use a little bit of that. And then I'm going to blend this in. I'm blending out the deeper shade first, and then I'm moving down towards the lighter shade. That is cute, but I think instead, here's what we're going to do. I had other blushes picked out. I should have used these first. I'm going to use my HAUS Labs blush balms. Y'all know I love these. I'm going to use the shades Glassy, Acai, and the shade Glassy Lilac, and we're just going to do the same thing over top. Those Huda Beauty blushes are cute, but I think that these HAUS Labs blushes are a little bit more pigmented. I think I've literally only used that Huda Beauty one maybe once or twice, and I liked how it looks, but we need a little more. And the HAUS Labs is going to give it to us. You see how the HAUS Labs took it there? I think I also don't have too much patience to be layering blush too much, so the HAUS Labs worked a little bit better for that. Next, I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealers. First, I'm going to start with the shade Butterscotch. I'm going to apply this to my under eye, avoiding the innermost corner for his upper lip, and we're just going to highlight the entire center of the face with this shade. And then I'm going to use the shade Crumble on my innermost corner. For my setting spray, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Spray. Adore her. Okay, first we're going to blend out the chin. I like to go chin, forehead, upper lip, nose. I don't know why I do it in that order. It really doesn't matter as long as you do the under eye last so that it has the most time to settle and so that it has the most coverage. I just adore the Huda Beauty concealer. It's one of my favorites of all time, if not my favorite, because it just blends out so nicely. There's so many shades to choose from that are so beautiful. The coverage is amazing. It's just a full glam girl's best friend. There's a reason that I reach for it time and time and time again. Before I blend out the lighter shade, I'm getting my Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 310, and I'm loading up my, actually I'm not going to use a brush this time, I'm going to use a powder puff. I'm going to load up my pressed powder on my powder puff and just keep that to the side until I blend out my under eye. I'm going to add a tad bit more concealer. I see like kind of a spot that I wish had a little bit more. Yeah, that looks better. After blending that in, I'm going to grab that powder puff that I loaded up with powder, and I'm setting my under eye into place. So smooth, gorge. I'm going to do the other side and come back to you. Okay, I've just finished setting my under eyes. I'm going to use the same powder to set everywhere that I highlighted. If I didn't say already, this is the shade 310. I feel like I always look literally insane at this point, but... And then I'm going to take the shade 365. This is the same shade as my skin tone. I'm going to take this on a powder brush and use this to set the rest of my face. While I'm setting the rest of my face, I don't mind if it goes over some of my highlighted areas. The only area that I'm steering completely clear from is under my eyes because we don't want to darken that up. Always remember to use setting powder on your neck as well, because obviously we blend foundation down to our neck, so you need to make sure to set it with powder as well. For my loose setting powder, I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder. This one is in the shade Ube Birthday Cake. I may or may not, I think I used this in my last video as well, but since we're using berry blushes, it's only right. So I'm just going to bake under my eyes with this powder. And then I'm going to take the same Huda Beauty powder. This one is in the shade Blondie, and I'm going to use this everywhere else. I want to set with loose powder like above my lip and on my smile lines, and then also to bake underneath my cheekbones because I do not want those areas to have like a purple tint to them like I do with my under eyes. So that's why we're using a different shade of this powder. And then the center of the forehead. I always wipe away my bake underneath my cheekbones immediately so that it doesn't look too harsh. For my powder bronzer today, I'm using the LYS Beauty Bronzer in the shade Worthy. Y'all know I love this bronzer as well. I'm using one of my Makeup by Mario F4 brushes to apply. Now I'm gonna press in my loose setting powder. I always do this to make sure we maintain that coloring and that we're also just getting the full use of the powder. And then I'm gonna use my powder brush to sweep the excess powder away and kind of blend it into my skin. So smooth. I love it. I'm gonna do another layer of my Charlotte Tilbury just to blend all these powders in. For my eyes today, I'm using my Danessa Myricks Beauty Groundwork Blooming Romance palette. This is a beautiful berry and pink toned eyeshadow palette. I think it'll be perfect for this look. Before y'all get excited, this is not gonna be too crazy of an eye look. I still want this to be something that is wearable because I'm not wearing a berry toned outfit or anything, but I think these colors are very complementary on my skin tone. I'm gonna take the cream shade for Bliss right here, and I'm gonna apply that to my lid. I'm gonna see how that color shows up on my skin and see if I'm gonna want to go any deeper. I'm just gonna apply this all over the lid as my base. I'm gonna use the powder shade for Bliss right next to it on a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna set that shade into place. I'm also gonna use the powder shade for Allure up here, which is this really light purple shade. I'm also gonna use that on a fluffy eyeshadow brush just to blend the edges out and make sure that there's no harsh lines here. And honestly, y'all, that's really it. I'm just gonna do like a purpley smoky eye with this. Nothing too complicated, but really cute. Okay, I've also done my other eye and added some mascara and a lash. Today's lashes are Lily lashes in the style Rome. I'm gonna have to retire these lashes soon. They're getting kind of iffy, but I just love them when I'm wearing eyeshadow because it still shows off the eyeshadow look without covering it up completely. For my mascara, I'm wearing the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize mascara. I adore this one. It's so good. For my blush, I'm gonna use the CoverGirl True Blend blush in the shade Temptation. This is a beautiful berry toned blush. It is gorge, and I'm gonna apply this on the highest points of my cheeks first. I'm also gonna go in with the shade Lavender Blonde from HAUS Labs. This blush is actually discontinued. I'm so sorry for showing you guys something you can't get anymore, but I don't have a blush that is this color. This is like a really light purple, almost pink shade, but I see it as like a really light purple shade. I'm not sure how it shows up on camera. I'm just applying this to that area between my under eye and my blush to blend them in flawlessly. So if you have any blush shade like this, it goes really well with a berry blush. For my lips, I'm going to start with the Clarins Water Lip Stain. This is in the shade Violet Water, and it's a really pretty berry lip stain that I have. It dries down so quickly, and I'm just going to apply this all over my lips just to give it a berry stain. To line my lips, I'm using my Makeup by Mario lip liner in the shade Jeff. And then I'm gonna finish off the lip with this Makeup by Mario lip gloss in the shade Dragon Fruit. So pretty. And then last but not least, I'm using my One Size Until Dawn setting spray to set everything into place. Okay friends, here is my completed berry toned makeup look. I absolutely adore how it came out. I love berry tones on dark skin. It just eats. Please let me know what you think of this look, if you like how it came out, and let me know if there's any other colors or any other types of looks that you want to see from me. Please make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. Please make sure to also turn on the post notification bell so you don't miss another video from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!